Hello everyone! Welcome back to Dreaming Angel Tarot. Thanks for being with me tonight. I was in the mood to do a reading on kind of like should you stay or should you go? But I also wanted to open up the reading a little bit to where it could also be applied for a broader situation too. Like if you're trying to choose between two options, so like option A or option B. But if you're using this as a should you stay or should you go reading, I'm gonna like tell you what those options are so you don't have to like second guess yourself. Cause like I do that sometimes because I'm like, wait, which one should I do and stuff like that. I'll make it clear for you that this is stay and this is go. But if you have another question where you're just wondering, you're just trying to choose between two options, and it's not exactly necessarily that type of a situation, you can use this reading for that as well, and just pick option A or option B. And I'll explain as we go along. But so I'll pick a card for you for the situation for option A, which is stay, or an option B, which is also a go. I'm going to pick a card for what you know, what you don't know, something to consider, and the outcomes for each option. And then at the end of the reading, I'm also going to do a quick yes or no answer. So if you have a question where you just want like a yes or no, something around the situation that you want answered, I'm going to do that too. So thank you for being here, and these are your options tonight. Your piles. This is pile 1, this is pile 2 in the middle, and this is pile 3. And I'm just gonna keep them face down. I just want you to look at the back of the cards and intuitively pick which pile you're drawn to the most. So I've got my cat with me tonight. So again, this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So if you chose pile 1, I'll get to you right now. If you chose pile 2 or 3, you can click on the timestamps below, and I'll see you in your reading. Thank you so much. Hi, pile 1. Thanks for being here. So first, I'm gonna look at your Awakening Intuition card that you chose, if you chose pile 1. And we got Notice Musical Messages, card number 39. Well-timed songs playing randomly. When you walk into a room, browse in a store, or turn on the radio may not be so random. Hearing a tune that holds special meaning for you, or that reminds you of a departed loved one, is synchronistic intuitive guidance. Spirit conducts your Spirit conducts your sixth sense symphony. So before I begin, pile 1, please pay attention to sounds that are around you right now. Music included, but anything audible, anything messages that you might overhear like on TV or on a commercial or when you walk into a store, something that you overhear someone say, even passing conversations, anything that you hear that you can pick up with your with your hearing sense. Stay open to messages from that sense right now, and that is going to clue you in on what the right decision is to make. And obviously, goes without saying, since you got this card, if it does come from a song or something like that, then yes, something to listen to as well. But I feel like it's just like anything that you might hear as you move through the day. So yeah, it's just something that like kind of pricks you up a little bit and like, that's odd. Like, so, yeah, so let's get into your reading. My cat's here. So, also, I wanted to say, when I picked your cards, there were a lot of cards that like flew out sideways. A lot of cards that flew out like face up, like ready to go. And a lot of times also I would get double cards when I would like try to pick one, like two would come out, and that kept happening. And so there's this strange like doubling effect that made me think about your situation. Like there's something about it where like you keep going back and forth. Like there's like a double vision, or like this feeling of just like things keep kind of doubling and kind of getting complicated. Like there could be something that feels kind of like confusing in that for you, or just like uncanny and strange. And it just might feel like, in addition to like musical or audible things, the universe just like keeps giving you messages right now. And it's like kind of like, brrr, like there's this feeling of just like going through images really, really quickly, and like things just like coming up. And it might even be a little overwhelming for you. Like you're like, I don't know what to listen to. Like there's just a lot right now. Like you're getting so many messages or something. And then there's something too about the cards kept coming up sideways. And it was like, there's something about that where it's like you're really not sure how to like look at things. Like there's a feeling like you can, like you're just kind of like looking at things a little sideways, and like there's this doubling theme, and then this like kind of looking at things sideways theme that just feels there's just a lot of like sort of ambiguity, but kind of like a strange magic like potential about where you're at. Like there's kind of a lot of like uncanny, strange, exciting energy that I'm picking up about where you're at right now. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe it'll make more sense when I get into the reading. So, sorry, so for the card for you, this was one of the ones that came out sideways, and it's the Hermit. For your situation, I got the Magician. For option A, which is the option if you're doing a should you stay or should you go reading, this is the option to stay. This is what, like, we're gonna explore what staying in this situation would be. And it's also, so whatever you choose, but it's if you wanna keep it more open and just you're choosing one option over the other, this is option A. But if you're using this as a should you stay or should you go reading, this is the stay option, to stay where you are. And you got the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. Okay. And now if you're using this as a stay or should you stay or should you go reading, this is the option for leaving, or for leaving the situation, for going. And then also it can just be option B. And you got the Five of Swords and Temperance. What you know, this also came out sideways. What you know is the King of Cups. What you don't know, another sideways card, is the Five of Wands. This is kind of confusing. I'm gonna put these over here. I hope that's not too confusing. Something to consider is the Nine of Swords. I'm gonna leave this down here for now. Or actually, I'll put it right here. And then we'll get the outcomes in a minute. Let me just look at this first. So, okay, pile one. With the Hermit here, it feels like you're in a space of reflection and of going inwards. And this is like kind of, this situation is enriching your kind of, your spiritual path, your spiritual understanding. It feels like a part of your soul's journey. It also feels it also feels like you're a little unsure of something, which makes sense. And you're not sure how to proceed. And so you're not totally feeling like, it's like you're sort of halfway going inwards and halfway just kind of tentatively trying to sense what's going on and just really, really tune in to the messages you're getting. It's like the feeling I get from this coming up sideways is like, it's like this Notice Musical Messages card. Like you're like kind of like trying to just like get your radio dial like tuned so finely where you can like really, really listen. Like, you know, when you're like trying to really listen to something and you kind of like turn your head in a certain way. And that's reminding me of how these cards are coming up sideways. It's like there's something right now where you're really trying to like listen and tune in and like figure out what's going on. And so it's like, it's kind of like you're listening to yourself, but you're also just kind of like in this place of pause where you're just really kind of tuning in and trying to listen and trying to like hear. And that's what I'm kind of getting from this card right now. And then for the situation, you have the Magician. So this feels like something you're trying to create on your own, something you're trying to manifest, an idea you have, an inspiration you're feeling. So that's kind of open for now, but it just feels like this feels like something you're doing on your own. But what it's feeling like to me is like there's something external where you're having to sort of lean in and like figure out what's going on and sense that. And that's part like so it's not, you feel a little bit dependent on that, and you're not totally in the place of just creating whatever you want, because you're trying to like kind of feel your way through it too. The option to stay, 2 cards came out, and it was the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. So this is speaking to me of like sort of a partnership. And it feels like it could be that one person is older than the other, or one person that knows more than the other and that's been at this longer, or one person that's like sort of in charge and the other person is kind of working with that person that's in charge. But they're facing each other, which makes me feel that there's, right now at least, pretty like open channels of communication. And this feels pretty positive. It feels pretty creative and productive. They're both holding this wand and this staff, so it kind of feels like they both have their eye on the same thing. The King of Wands is sitting down on the throne, and he's a little bit more comfortable, and he's holding the staff. So it could be that he's feeling a little bit more, that he feels like he knows what he's doing, or thinks he knows what he's doing, or something like that. Whereas the Page of Wands could be in a more subordinate position where they're still standing. They're kind of looking at the wands like, I'm not totally sure what this is yet, and I'm kind of still exploring this, but I'm feeling inspired. It feels like there's a productive, creative relationship going on between here, though, where one energy is kind of feeding off the other. So the authority of the King of Wands is sort of admiring the youthful, creative, like, curiosity and promise of the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is sort of feeling a little bit more confident at having the King of Wands there to give them some guidance and mentorship. If you're doing two options, option A, I feel like, is looking pretty productive, especially if you're like in some sort of partnership, or you're trying to like make a creative decision. Should you go for like a certain venture? Right now, this is looking pretty good to me. And should you stay in a situation? Right now, it feels like there's a good kind of energy here. I'm not seeing any red flags yet. Option B, on the other side, is should you leave? And here we have the Five of Swords, which is the card of sort of animosity or something kind of distress, or there being kind of a bad feelings, you know, like where there used to be a team, suddenly there's like a lot of animus, and there's kind of bad blood going on. And there's kind of a break in that team that used to be there. So the option to leave indicates that there would be, this would be a difficult kind of break. There would be kind of bad feelings involved. You also have the Temperance card, card 14, which here is kind of calling for some balance and some real care about how you would do this. And this is saying that if you chose option B, this is something you really have to like consider and put a lot of care in and do sort of in a very measured, balanced way, and a way where you're really kind of like carefully going down kind of a middle path, and being very moderate and considered in your approach. You're kind of weighing things out. And almost kind of like very logically, scientifically, rationally, kind of studying and approaching something. If this is your option that you're picking where you would want to like leave the situation, same thing. I think it's calling for a little bit of a careful approach, because there's volatility involved. So there's something precarious about this if you chose to leave. And that could be like that it's not a bad thing, but it's just something to know and something to consider. Because both of these options came up as doubles, and we're getting this feeling of like partnerships, because the situation is you, the magician, I wonder if there's something about the situation, and we got the Hermit for you, which both of these cards are very much cards of sort of the individual or the individual in isolation. I wonder if you're wondering whether you should let go it alone, or you're thinking you might want to venture out on your own and do your own thing or do your own project. What you know about this situation, we've got the King of Cups, and that also came out sideways. Which is again points to this kind of ambiguity about this reading, in this kind of sense that you're really having to lean in to kind of really kind of like hone in on what's going on here. But what you know about the situation is there's, I think, a masculine figure involved here who I want to say he's there to aid and help you. But with it coming out sideways, sometimes you don't totally know where he stands. And there's a mysterious quality, I think, about this figure. And it doesn't have to be a masculine. I mean, it could be just kind of a feminine person in your life too, who has these King of Cups traits. This is someone who is a feeling person, is sort of a passionate or somewhat generous person, maybe an artistic person, sensitive, like, I don't know if I said that already, but with it sideways, there's something about them but is withheld a little bit, I feel like. And they're not completely all in. They hold themselves back a little bit. Or there's something that they hold back from you. They're not completely generous with this. And it could be that their emotions are really up and down, so it's hard for them to completely feel centered in that and how they feel and what they think. And so there's just something about them that they feel a little timid and held back. So what you know about the situation is that you might be sensing that. If there's something slightly out of reach, I think, about this figure. Something that's wanting. Like there's potential there, but it kind of feels like you can't quite touch it or grasp it, and there's a little bit of an enigma, mystery here. And maybe that's why you're kind of leaning in, trying to like hold your breath and like figure out like what's going on, you know? The what you don't know of the situation is the 5 of Wands, and this also came out sideways. With this coming out sideways, this just feels like something that's like eternally in flux. It never really finds resolution. It never really finds grounding. It just always feels like things are slipping in and out of place. There's this real fluidity to the situation. But this is all something you don't know. So it could be that you don't know actually that this is kind of not as much on solid ground as you think. What you don't know is that there could be a lot more infighting or fighting behind the scenes than you realize. What you don't know is that there's more conflict here that you aren't aware of, or that it's being kept from you. And it's like there's something murky about it. There's something secretive. There's something yeah. There's something unresolved or like hard to pin down about it. Something to consider is the 9 of Swords. Pile 1, no matter how good things look on the outside, the thing to consider here is how you feel. So the question I have to ask you is, like, the thing to consider is, do you feel like you work yourself up and get upset about the situation? When that happens, do you feel like it's productive? Or do you feel like this just kind of keeps happening and you're not finding resolution, you're not finding peace, and it's not getting any better? Ask yourself how much pain and anxiety you're feeling and what you're willing to go through. And I kind of mean that very seriously and straightforwardly. Like, sometimes there can be situations that are painful, but that they can end up being productive. And other times we're needlessly suffering and we don't need to be. typically the Nine of Swords is a card of needlessly suffering and you don't need to be. Where or at what time, when in your memory, did you feel that with regards to this situation, and what was going on and what happened? And did that feeling resolve, or do you still feel it? Ask yourself, how much am I really suffering in this, and is it worth it, and do I see it improving? And is it possible to stay in this situation or choose one option and just change your attitude about it? Because if you feel like that's not possible and this is gonna keep giving you the stress, then I think this is kind of saying that's the only thing you need to know. You just need to kind of look within a little bit and figure out what kind of pain, what kind of suffering you're feeling, and is that helping you grow as a person, or is it just kind of needless stuff that's happening that's not helping you grow? You're benefiting from the partnership here. But I can see why you're not totally sure of it too, and why there's something in you that really, really kind of wants to because here in this situation, you're being kept as a more less mature version of yourself. And if you were the magician, it's like you would come into your own and grow a lot more. I feel like you're also asking yourself what you want. And there's obviously something a little bit tricky or a little bit slippery about the situation. And it makes total sense that you'd be feeling kind of this real confusion and angst, and kind of, I sense that you're feeling a little insecure and alone. Like there's a feeling of being isolated. I just want to reiterate before I move on, again, the message about listening and tuning in to guidance from things you hear around. So, okay, I'm gonna pick the outcome cards now. So if you are choosing to stay in this situation, or you're using this one here on the left for option A, the outcome for option A, or to stay, if you choose that, is the Six of Pentacles. If you choose to leave, if you choose to go, or if you choose option B, which is over here on the right, the outcome for that is the Queen of Cups. So I do feel like option A, the option to stay, is opting to stay in some sort of a partnership, because with the Six of Pentacles, this is a give-take relationship. This is about achieving sort of balance and reciprocity, and generosity and receiving and being paid fairly or receiving a fair amount. So I think it's a good sign that if you choose this, you will get fair treatment. However, if you choose to leave, one second, I don't want to move on just yet. I think with option A, you will get fair treatment. But I wonder if it's also like you're gonna always feel like you're depending on someone else, like you're waiting for them to pay you, like you're at their mercy a little bit. And it's like their call, like what they dole out to you. I mean, typically with this card right side up, it indicates a fundamental fairness, but it's almost like this, but nothing more. It stays in the material realm. It's not anything like mind-blowing. It's just like, yeah, you'll have like a fair give and take. And you'll be paid. You'll make money. But with these figures on the card are like peasants, and the rich merchant is like giving them coins. I wonder which one are you? Are you the rich merchant, or are you one of the peasants? How do you feel in this situation? Do you always, if you are one of the people receiving money, one of the peasants, do you always want to feel that way? Do you always want to feel like you're dependent on someone else to receive this payment? And is that enough for you? Is that what you want out of this, is just financial compensation? Or is there more that you're desiring? Option B feels a little bit more like maybe potentially scary and tricky, but the outcome is the Queen of Cups. This is being in your element. This is being in your heart-centered place. This is spiritual fulfillment. This is emotional wisdom. This is fulfillment. Did I already say that? This is sort of peace, a peace in your heart. It sounds like getting out of this situation would be really tricky, but that you would feel peaceful at the end of the day. And it sounds like if you stayed in this situation, it would be relatively like good, but I wonder if there's like ultimate fulfillment here, though. And this would be more like, staying would be like for material concerns, or for the comfort and predictability of having a partner and working with a partner. Or if you felt like you needed to continue to like learn. I'm just getting this feeling of like growing out of it, you know? Like it could be that option one is okay, but it's like you're growing out of it. Or you feel like you could be like growing out of it. And option B is like you don't want to like upset anyone and you want to do this delicately, but you feel like there could be like a more, like a payoff that's more fulfilling. Temperance is also like the arts card. It's a very mystical card. There's a kind of non-earthly wisdom here on this side. All these sideways cards just point to this like kind of just, you're really teetering, you're really just like, oh, you're just not sure, you know, and it's like that, like you're kind of just starting to like explore and like rethink this, and it's like a little scary and you're like tentative, but like it's like I'm getting this feeling of just inching your foot forward just a little bit. And like your ultimate dream, like the situation is, it's kind of like you're, yeah, this situation is, I think you're outgrowing this and you're wanting to explore, or you're just growing as a person and you're wanting to explore your potential and your capability and what you can do. And you're wanting to like use that power that you feel like you have. At the very end here, well, and just to recap really quickly, again, the question to ask yourself, what to consider, is kind of how much, at what point does the pain become too much? And what feels like productive sort of suffering and what feels like it's not productive. Lastly, I wanted you to ask a yes or no question. So whatever that is, think of it in your mind. The yes or no question you wanted answered, you wanted answered around the situation. So think of the question. I'm gonna take a sip. When you have that in your mind, I'm gonna pull the card. Oh my gosh. So this one came out sideways too. But you got card 21, the world. And the answer is yes. What I've been working for is already done. So this card also came out sideways, which is really interesting. It's like you're really teetering on like a new reality. There's really this like phenomenal energy in this reading where it's just like you're just at the precipice. And with the world here as the outcome, or your yes or no question, sorry, not the outcome, but a yes or no. It's like there's tremendous potential here. So if that gives you, but you're just not quite there yet, but you can feel this, but it's like just out of reach. But you sense it might be there somewhere in your future, but it's not close, but it's like, you're like, is it a mirage? Like you can kind of see it in the distance. It's like faint, it's like a faint sound. Like you're leaning in to try to see if you can hear it or sense it or see it. You're squinting your eyes. There's this feeling in this reading where it's just like you're just not quite there, and you're trying to visualize it, and it's just you're trying to get closer to something, and there's this real hesitancy and just kind of fear a little bit around this, but also real bravery. There's like a lot of real strong, like very strong, like solid energy as well with you, I think. And more confidence than I think you realize you have. But with the world, we've got success, achievement, accomplishment, travel, completion, fulfillment, sense of belonging, wholeness, the end, reaching your goal, expanded horizons, physical and emotional health, all's well that ends well. So pile 1, tune in to messages you hear. Pay attention to what your guides want to tell you through these synchronistic, audible experiences that might come your way. And I hope that helped, and I would love to hear in the comments how that resonated. All right, bye pile 1. Hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. So this is your should you stay or should you go reading, and I am gonna first look at the Awakening Intuition Oracle deck, and this is the card you picked. Stay open, set sail, and surrender. Card number 16. You'll receive more intuitive guidance and more co-creative assistance from Spirit if you surrender now. Stop paddling, put up your oars, and let the river take you. Stay open to unexpected bends in the river, guiding you to the perfect port. Don't strategize, just recognize divine direction. Master intuition by staying open-minded. So, you might be struggling to make a decision in this situation, and Spirit actually at the outset of this reading is just saying, actually, stop struggling. Just let it go and let things kind of take their course. It may be that you don't really have to make a decision right now, and a divine set of events is already, kind of gonna take place, or you've already worked really hard and you can kind of let up a little bit and let the course of things move you and take you where you need to go. And for sure, there's divine intervention in this, and God has a plan for this. So there's something more here. There's a bigger thing. There's a bigger course of events that are taking place. And that doesn't mean you don't have control over it. You absolutely do. But I think God has a plan for this that is in alignment with what you dream and what you want. And the good news is you can relax a little bit, and you may not have to stress about this as much as you think you do. I also feel like you're not alone. This is like, wait for more guidance, and right now just relax, because you're not alone here. There's assistance out there for you. Take a far more relaxed approach in your efforts for the time being, or ideally take a break altogether. Sometimes taking a small, safe vacation from an issue can help you return refreshed and able to see a situation with new intuitive eyes and options. If taking a break isn't possible, try to recharge your batteries as much as you can to avoid burnout, or enlist extra support. Lean on others. Watch for signs and synchronicities, especially new people, resources, options, or methods showing up, or suddenly feeling open to a method, option, resource, or person someone else suggested long ago that you resisted. The situation in your life is evolving, and Spirit is trying to partner with you in a more proactive way. Lay down your sword, take off your armor, and rest. Resist less. Be open to out-of-the-box insights that come from your sixth sense or the intuition of others. Mentally and emotionally release your attachment to things happening in a certain way, at a certain time, or leading to a certain destination. Grieve the old so the new can be born. You always get the best from your intuition when you remain open. Don't discount genuine guidance just because it doesn't fit your agenda. So it sounds like the situation is going to turn out well, but it's also asking you to remain open, sort of remain perked up. And the most important thing right now is to take care of your own energy and to stay in the flow, and to take care of your body. So this feels like take a break, take a vacation, meditate, or just keep at it, but like do so in a way that's like restorative and not exhausting and just inspiring. There's a soft flow energy here. Okay, so with that being said, let's get to the good stuff. So for this reading, I decided to shuffle kind of as we go. So I'm going to pick a card for you. Pile 2. Ooh, we got the Six of Pentacles kind of coming out sideways. Okay, for the situation, what is the situation here? Ooh, the cards are sticking a little. So I feel like there is some kind of little bit of resistance, or yeah. We got the situation is the Star and the Strength card both came out. And they kind of came out sideways too. Not fully upside down, but just kind of a little upside down, a little sideways. I'm just going to put them upside down for now. But this is a big deal in your life with these two major arcana coming out of this. I feel like for you, you feel somehow like the situation maybe hasn't been entirely fair, or that you're not getting the rewards for your efforts that you would like. But it's sort of tricky because it's like just enough to where you're happy, it's not terrible, but it's also not like great either. Like it's not totally like abundant. It's kind of like could this be better? And so you're just feeling a little bit like, and it could also be too that you're just feeling a little bit like, should you put more time and effort into this? Or should you kind of stop now? Or like pull back or something? Or should you put more money into it? You might have put some money into this thing and you're sort of wondering if you should put more money in or if you need to like ask for more money. There could be kind of a crossroads situation going on with that as well. Or you're not sure if you're gonna like receive more money. So you're not sure like what the lifespan of this is. But the feeling I get more than anything is just there's not as much of a payoff here, or that it's just not quite feeling like a fruitful, like abundant situation. It feels a little scant or something, meager. The situation with the Star and the Strength both coming out kind of sideways or reversed is, yeah, you have a lot of talent, you have a lot to bring to the table, and you've also put a lot of effort and determination into this, and it's like you're not getting something out of it. It's like the feeling I get from this is you're pouring a lot of energy into it, and you have been very strong. But like something isn't coming back, something isn't paying off the way it should. The amount that you're putting into this is not the same as what you're getting back from it. And it feels a little bit like the level to which you're not getting something back out of this, but you are committed to it, is kind of feeling like you're not being done right by. I don't know if that's the way, if I'm saying that correctly. Like, you're all in, you've committed, but you're like somehow alone in this, and like you're not being caught on the other side. And you're not being like assisted in this. You're being kind of left to struggle alone, it feels like. Okay, so option A, if you're doing this for option A or B, this is option A. If you're doing this as a should you stay or should you go reading, this is the option to stay. So, okay. So option A or stay. Should you stay in this situation? What is option A here? Ooh. We got the Seven of Swords come out, and we got the King of Cups that came out kind of sideways. That's crazy. That happened in the first reading too. And also in the first reading, I was getting all these sideways cards. There's something about this energy so far where it's like, there's just enough. There's just enough. There's kind of breadcrumbs, maybe even. But I don't think you feel like you're being respected. I'm gonna pick option B really quick, and then I'm gonna come back. So this is the option for you if you're like, should you go? Should you leave? Or if you're doing A or B, this is B. Should you leave pile 2 should you go? Ooh! And I got the Judgment card. And that, I don't know, it's fine, it's whatever. And I'll pick one more since the other side got 2. Option B, should you go? Got the 6 of Cups. I'm going to pick a card for what you know about the situation. What does pile 2 know about the situation? What do they already know about the situation? Pile 2. Got the Temperance card. What does pile 2 not know about the situation? What's the T that they do not know? King of Pentacles. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, pile 2. This is interesting. Something to consider. Interesting. We got the 7 of Cups come out reversed. And we'll stop there for now. At the end of the reading, I'm also going to do a yes or no question, so you might want to think about that right now. Something related to the situation that you'd like a yes or no answer to. Just so you know. Okay, so option A, if you choose option A or you decide to stay in the situation, this is the current energy with staying. So, or choosing option A. So, you feel like you have to be very smart, very like wily, very, you feel like you're in this alone. You feel like you have to like look out for yourself and like kind of outsmart something. And out of necessity, you have to be kind of sneaky. You also might feel that you are being deceived. And so I would say either way, the option to stay there's tricky energy here. The King of Cups came out sideways, and it's funny because, yeah, like I said, I got this in pile 1. It's feeling like someone's not being totally honest. Like they're giving you some things, they're giving you some glimpse into things, but not into others. Or it could be someone's just a little bit, they have energy of like kind of like being on the fence or not totally committing, being a little bit remote. They could also be like a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But this is like a mature, kind of masculine figure. Or at least someone that's maybe a little older than you. It's someone who you feel like could be very, like, maybe they want to be, they want to present themselves as very mature or sensitive or something, very calm, very collected. But it's like the substance isn't there somehow. Like something's missing. There's something behind the veil that you feel like you don't see about this person that's there and that they don't want you to see. So staying in this situation means that you're going to be dealing with a slippery energy, I think. And that you're going to have to really watch out for yourself. And there's someone here that's like, I think they will continue to kind of do what they can get away with and like deceive you a little bit. Yeah, I feel like the Seven of Swords, I feel like that's the other person. Like, and you might in response have to be very kind of like smart or slippery yourself, or like kind of, you might have to keep secrets too because of how the nature of the other person. But I think they're stealing, they're taking, they're trying to like get away with something. There's deceptive energy here, I think. Which could explain why you feel like you're not really getting what you deserve. Option B is the option to go. And here we have the Judgment card. So I feel like right now that option is looking like something that's really calling to you very strongly. And it could feel like it's like literally like your angels are like shouting at you or blowing a trumpet and being like, hello, wake up. Like, you know what you need to do. Like, listen to this. It could also be that it's you feel called to awaken in some way, or you feel called to enter a new cycle of life or find kind of spiritual renewal. You feel called to like sort of a rebirth, or you feel called to something greater and more magisterial, more amazing, more marvelous, more awe-inspiring than what you know right now. Something's shouting at you and you can't ignore it. And you know what that is. So I think right now in this spread, like the option to leave this situation is really, really calling to you, I think. And it could feel very seductive too. Like it could feel like, oh, that would just feel so, that would feel so good or something. You also got the Six of Cups for the option to go. And so if you choose that right now, it could be that you feel, thinking about it makes you feel like you're in touch again with sort of a childhood passion or childhood dreams, or an innocence, a nostalgia about the past, a joy, or like a source of comfort or simple pleasure for you, a creative thing you loved as a child, something that just makes your heart happy. There's a return to innocence or something with option B, and a simplicity. And there's a eschewing of, or like a turn away from this like surreptitious kind of very sophisticated, adults, hard to navigate, like minds, like kind of I don't know, like tricky mental behavior, There's a desire to just return to like innocence and something that feels pure. You feel trapped and like you feel like you really don't have a lot of options. And leaving would feel like liberating, but also in a way like comforting, in a way where you're like, is it real though? Like maybe this would feel good, but is it also just, is this an escape? Yeah, and I think that's what you're you have trepidation about. Like, because I think you don't want to just escape the situation. I think you want to like feel that you're evolving through it and learning from it and becoming a better person. There's something tempting about option B, or there's something tempting about the option to go, and you're wondering if you can trust that, or if it's like the siren call, you know what I mean? But you can't really trust option A either, is what it feels like. So you're kind of in a tricky place. I kind of feel for you right now, Pile 2. This is some really difficult, kind of tricky energy. And I can understand why you feel a little stumped. Like you're trying to figure out what's real, So maybe we can look at that. So something to consider here with the Seven of Cups reversed. So you really are like, what is real? What can I trust? And you got that message of just go with the flow and stop trying to like figure it out right now. So I think you do need to like stop trying to like analyze all of these options. It's kind of saying that the thing to consider is like, I don't think you're gonna find the truth through doing that. Like, don't overthink this. Don't start to like, don't look too far in the future and start to think about all of these outcomes or options, or don't make things more complicated than they need to be. Don't think about more options. Don't think about the future at all. Something to consider is like, there's really not, like things really are sort of up in the air right now, I think. And that you really don't know either. Like, you really don't know what you can trust, and it's kind of going to be hard to make a good decision right now if you do try to make one. I think it's like you don't have enough information, or there's something really fundamentally mysterious about this. It's too unknown right now. And it feels to me like it's unknown, not in the way that you don't understand the situation. It feels more unknown in the sense that the future isn't kind of set yet. Like the future still has yet to be determined in this regard, on this subject. But don't despair, because remember, your guides are working with you. God is working with you. And you just need to stay open-minded. So, what you know is the Temperance card. So you know you have to be in this place kind of strength, of balance, of surrender, of kind of trying to do what you can to just I don't know, hold on, I'm just trying to think here. I think what you know is that there's some sort of ambiguity around the situation. And that it's sort of a spiritual test of sorts, and part of the test is this kind of being in this space of a middle ground between two possibilities or some sort of unknown, or finding balance to something. This is the card of alchemy. It's like working on the self. What you know about the situation is that it's calling you to work on yourself and to evolve your soul and your spirit and your emotional world. What you don't know about this situation, what is hidden from you, is the King of Pentacles. And so that makes me feel like someone is benefiting from this situation that you may not even know is even there. Or you may not know that someone you're kind of working with like is benefiting from this situation more than you realize. But kind of what I get from this, what you don't know, is that there's a person behind the scenes, this part of this that you don't even know is there. And they could be funding it. They could be in charge. They could be part of the foundation of this. They could be benefiting from it. There's money here flowing one way or the other that you don't know about. And there's a figure here, I think, too, that you don't know about. Alternatively, this could be positive. This could also be that there is a benefactor waiting to like come into this scene, waiting to come into the picture, that wants to support you or this an endeavor you care about, sort of a financial backer or someone who would be, a client or someone you could work with or something. There's someone who could come into the scenes, could come into your future that you don't know about yet. Or it could also be that there's someone that you already know about that's like another kind of masculine figure that's a part of this, who ends up being more of a decisive factor in this outcome than you realize right now. Like, it could be that what you don't know is that there's someone behind the scenes. There's someone here who's working, who you don't realize is doing a lot. And it's like a big part of this. At first I was getting like a negative feeling from this card, but it could also be like a positive thing. That there's someone who's working behind the scenes that you don't know about yet. And again, with this like stay open, set sail and surrender, like there's like more things happening than you know, and you kind of can just like relax a little bit. It feels like there's things in motion, potential outcomes that you may not know about. So this is reminding you that right now you don't know everything and you need to go within and sort of work on yourself. That's what the situation is calling for right now. And there's more to this than you know. Okay. Pile 2. This situation is like really testing you. It's calling you to be so strong. You are like having to be so determined and so strong and so focused and have so much faith. This is really, really high level spiritual testing stuff. Okay, so outcomes for each. So I want to do outcome for if you stay in this situation. Ooh, we got Wheel of Fortune that came out sideways and the Fool. Okay, interesting. So that's option A, or it to stay. For option B, okay, we have Strength. I'm gonna pick one more. This is the second time we got Strength in this reading. Option B, or if you choose to go. Ooh, the Tower and the Hermit. Okay. It feels like staying in the situation would sort of be the default. It would sort of be the letting the river take you. And that option B is the thing that would be the like kind of drastic action and be the thing that kind of causes drastic change in your life or tumult. No, I'm not gonna do that. I can't tell you what to do, obviously. Pile 2 after all of this. But there's something about this where it's like, I wouldn't make a decision right now. Because I think that the Wheel of Fortune here, there's something already kind of set in motion. There's something already set in motion. And there's sort of like a destiny, a destined course of events that's set to take place. And oddly, staying in this situation is sort of like letting go in a way, and just trusting in the unknown and in that kind of course of events. The proviso here is that if you choose to stay, you should do so in a spirit of like innocence and trust, which is like doesn't really make sense compared to like the cards we got. And independence, like it's, you need to like harness and feel in touch with your like independent spirit and your own delight and dreams and desires. If you choose to leave, I think it's gonna take, I mean, we have the Strength card. I think it's gonna take all your strength. I think it's gonna feel really scary. And there's gonna be a lot of unknown. And it could genuinely really, really upset things in your life. And feel like a pretty drastic thing. When you do it, if you did that, I think you'd find yourself feeling a little bit alone. There's a little bit of a stuck between a rock and a hard place feeling with choosing option B here. Choose one more card for option one. Ooh. So I'm honestly really stumped. Like there's something about this reading where there's something mysterious going on. There's more things than you know. There's a lot of things that have yet to kind of be in motion and just be set into place. And yet there's also sort of this like outcome that is sort of I think will eventually take place. And I really think strangely enough, I think if action is required, you'll know when to take that. Like you'll know when the right time is. The timing will feel right to you. But right now, it's too much of a mired unknown energy. And I think you're right in feeling what you feel. But I feel like this whole spread is asking you, like, not to make a decision right now. And just kind of like get centered. I think this is your spiritual job right now, is temperance. This is asking you to like get centered. Get focused, meditate, and just be in the flow. Pay attention to your feelings inside and your kind of spiritual world. The change is gonna kind of come from within. So there's a dual message of like surrender to like the outside course of events and work on your inner self. Pile 2, I totally understand your frustration. It feels like you're not in charge here. And it feels like you're not getting what you need to be getting. And it also feels like you're also not even getting honest treatment. But for whatever reason, it's not time yet. It's not time yet to make a move. It's time to kind of default and work on yourself and surrender. So I would advise right now not to leave the situation, or not to choose pile B if you can put it off. I think if you were to do that now, it'd be too drastic and it'd be really hard on you. But I understand wanting to and feeling tempted to. I feel like if you stuck with pile 1, something about this will set you free and put in a course of divine timing and create an outcome where you can in fact walk away when the timing's right or something like that. Your job is to like work on yourself and to surrender and to trust and, let the river take you. Put up your oars, like the card said, and stop paddling. Let the river take you and listen to yourself. Read about the temperance card and what it means. And let that take you to your destination. All right. Thank you so much, pile 2. Thank you for trusting in me to do this reading for you. I would love to know how it resonates as always. And see you in the next reading. Bye. Oh my gosh. Pile 2, I totally forgot that I didn't do your yes or no. So if you're if you're still here, pile 2, I hope you didn't leave already, but if you picked pile 2 and you wanted to ask your yes or no question, I'm gonna pick that card now. So pile 2, yes or no question pertaining to this situation. Think of it in your mind, and I've got your card. And it is no. And we've got the 9 of Swords. Fear, anxiety, terror, negativity, deep unhappiness, stress, burden, overwhelmed, at breaking point, inability to cope or face life, mental anguish, guilt, regret, remorse, focusing on past, subject of gossip. And the keyword on the card is anxiety. So your answer is no. I feel like that affirms a little bit the message of the reading, which is like you're really tempted to leave or to choose pile like option B. But it's kind of the no coming up here is like like weirdly enough, like, you know, it might be saying don't make that decision. I don't know. But whatever you wanted to ask about, the answer is no. And again, your goal right now is to remain calm and to just get centered and kind of let the water take you and surrender to this. So, okay, thanks. Thanks again, Pile 2. Take care. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Should you stay or should you go? And also, you can use this for just a choice between two options. So first, we're going to look at your Awakening Intuition Oracle card. And you got card 33, Explore Divination Tools. Divination tools such as oracle cards can complement your sixth sense, yet they aren't necessary to access the four main psychic pathways: hearing, seeing, knowing, and feeling guidance that exist within you. Play with divination tools to enhance or explore your intuition while remembering that you are a divination tool. So, this is like giving me the feeling of don't get too confused by seeking guidance from, you know, all the things that like outside sources that you might look to give you guidance in this situation. The most important thing is your inner guidance and your intuition. And that's the thing you're going to have to trust right now more than anything else. It might confuse you a little bit to constantly search outside and to try to use other tools to come about this solution. So at the end of the day, be really picky about what you listen to and what guidance you listen to and who you ask for advice, and keep coming back to your own heart and what it's telling you. Don't complicate things. And that also is giving me the feeling of like, when you're not, like, don't be too hasty, don't be too anxious. Just tune into your guidance and trust that. Let me read 33. So it's, less is more now. So begin paring down. This could be a good time to clean your house, organize your computer desktop, or get to work in the garden. That kind of light, repetitive physical labor that isn't too mentally laborious can provide a great time to check in with your intuition. It's also a good time to practice saying no to extra work projects or social engagements that aren't an authentic yes for you. If you're unsure about wanting to cancel a date or donate a piece of furniture, sleep on it. No need to rush now. Decluttering can be a great way to slow down and reflect, making it the perfect activity to kick off a new season or a Mercury retrograde cycle. When your life is crowded, it can feel sped up, which can make you anxious, and that can make it harder to tune into your intuition. Purposefully press pause to declutter and disengage. Minimalism can be decadent, as it allows space to more fully experience and savor what you have. Amen. I love minimalism. Oh my God. You know what's weird? Is that I accidentally, you probably noticed this if you're watching the screen, I accidentally read number 32, and we got number 33, But like, this is the exact thing I was thinking about. This is the message I wanted to give you, which is like, simplify. And if need be, step away from the situation and do something that just like clears your mind or is like simple or zen. And don't make a decision like right away. Like, and also thinking about it more like isn't gonna help you. And that's also like the vibe of the divination tools, like like asking again and again and again like isn't gonna help you. You need to like step away and like kind of just clear your mind and simplify right now. That's funny. I read that by accident, but I think it was the message you needed. So, and then after that, the next step to take would be when you're ready to return to it, then just tune into your intuition first. Don't go to an outside source. Don't go to a tool. Don't do anything like that. Just step away for a little bit, do something to clear your mind and distract you and take your mind off of this. And don't make any decisions right now. And then when you like finish a task or you feel like you've accomplished something or you feel a little bit like you're in a better place, then come back to yourself and listen to like your heart and listen to your intuition. And don't necessarily go outside of yourself for like guidance, because I think you're just going to get more confused by that. Simple is better right now. And I feel you, pile 3. This is me, like on 6 out of 7 days of the week. I wish I could take this guidance more in my life of just stop. Maybe just take a walk and relax. Like, you know, you don't have to decide right now. Compulsively, you know, reading your own tarot cards is not going to help. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle. I did this for pile 2 as well. I shuffled during the video. So, also at the end of this reading, and I can't forget, I'm going to pick a yes or no card, and I'm going to answer a yes or no question for you. So if a question comes up while I'm reading the cards that you want like a yes or no answer to, I'll give you a chance to like remember that question at the end of this reading, and then I'll pick the card and give you a yes or no answer. So you might want to have that in the back of your mind as you're listening. So now that I gave you the guidance not to listen to external advice or or tarot cards or anything like that, here's your reading. You might want to like stop and take a break and come back to this, or just do this one thing and then mull it over and put it out of your mind and let it just sit there for a while and percolate. Okay. But whatever you're doing, I think take a break. Don't decide like right away. Don't decide right after you watch this reading. Let things sit for a little bit. This is you, the situation, the situation. Oh no, it's too many. I can't take that many, I'm sorry. It's just gonna be too confusing. It looks like a layered situation, but I just want one card for the situation, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, makes sense. Okay, for option A, which would also be the option to stay in the situation right now, we have the Hierophant. For option B, which would be to leave, to go, or just if you're doing option A and B, this is option B. We got the 8 of Cups, sort of redundant, but we'll figure that out. what you know about the situation, what you already know about the situation for pile 3. This is kind of like this. What you don't know about the situation. What does pile 3 not know about this situation? I know this doesn't make a lot of sense. Something to consider. Nope. I'm not taking that many. Some things to consider. What should pile 3 consider? What should they think about? Oof. Nothing's coming out. Don't consider anything. Don't, just tune out. I think this is saying, like, take a break. So yeah, Queen of Cups, listen to your intuition. Take a break. Don't think. Don't think about anything right now. So, okay. So this is career, money, finances, material security. You are feeling like you want to... This is feel like if you are on solid ground and that you want to feel secure, and that right now your interests are in, securing your future, making sure that you're on solid grounds, you have solid footing, you have solid investments, you have a predictable future right now. There's something financial or material at stake. I think you already have like a certain amount of abundance or blessings or good income. I think you're doing well, and your interests are in growing that and seeing that blossom. This could also be like a career, but I'm really getting that this is like kind of about money. I really do feel like this does feel like something like some sort of material investment, something that you've poured time and money into, something that you've worked hard for. The situation is that it hasn't matured yet. Like this hasn't borne fruit yet. I feel like you're wondering if the situation will bring in more abundance, more income. If it's, I don't know if you're asking if it's solid or if you can trust it. I kind of think you can. This kind of feels like you're in a solid place right now. It's more like, is this really gonna be as, can I get to that place I really want to get to? Is it gonna be as big as that? Will this grow at all, even? Like right now, I'm really holding on to things. Will I be in a place where like I feel a little bit better and more relaxed, and I have have more, and so I'm not so worried about it. Will this bear fruit? Will this multiply? Will this level up? Is this possible? It's kind of that energy. I'm gonna pick, okay. I'm gonna pick one more card for this situation. What is pile three's, what is this situation? What are they doing? Star. Yeah, it feels like you're, it's like you're wanting something to kind of flourish. You want to feel more, you want to feel like this has taken on a life of its own, and that it's gotten to this level of just where you just feel gratitude, and you feel like another level of happiness, and you just feel comfortable, and you feel sort of a sense of healing, of beauty. I think there's something here where like it's hard for you to imagine it, and it's like you don't know if you can believe in it, or like what you can believe in, if anything. You're like, is this even possible? Like there's something here where like it feels so, your dream feels so amazing that you feel, it feels really like, it's like you don't believe it's possible, is the vibe I get. Like this doesn't feel like it could be my life. The option A, or the option to like stay in the situation, is the Hierophant. So excuse me. The option to stay is the option to do everything by the book. It's to do the doctrinaire thing. It's to do the thing, the like passed on wisdom, the collective wisdom, the standard. Like if you're investing your money, this is like the kind of by the book thing, like the conventional wisdom of like how to do that. And this is like seeking advice from all the experts. Option A is doing things by the book and staying sort of under the tutelage or under the umbrella of a sort of conventional path, conventional wisdom, a set practice, a sort of belief system, or almost like religious practice, or a feeling of like a religiousness about something, like this is what people believe is the best thing that you should do, and that kind of thing. It's trusting in people who know what they're doing, people who have learned the ropes, people who you would go to ask, hey, you're an expert in this subject, what do I do? And it's what they would tell you to do. If you're going to get health advice, this is like a regular doctor, like standard, like Western medicine or something. It's a conventional approach. Or it's also following the advice of someone that you trust and that someone you do feel like is very solid and very learned. It's following conventional wisdom, it's following someone else's advice, it's following the set path that's laid out that a multitude of other people are also following. It's also seeking wisdom, seeking knowledge about this. Anything you can do to like educate yourself. And then option B, which is the option to like leave the situation, is ironically a card about leaving the situation. But it feels like it takes on an extra resonance and an extra meaning in this reading because contrary to the Hierophant, which is about conventional wisdom, doing things by the book, following the institution, staying within the confines of conventional wisdom, option B, or the option to leave, would mean kind of bucking the trend, going it alone, turning your back on that a little bit, and following your own path, navigating your own strange route here under the light of the moon, which is indeed following your intuition. But this is really creating your own trail. Following your own path, navigating things from a totally different place. So that is indeed a conundrum. And there is beauty in both of these things. So you're sort of wondering, like, should you follow advice that you're getting? Should you listen to other people? Or should you just figure out your own way and maybe navigate this from your own kind of spirit of exploration and independence and wonderment? There's something here where there's a creative potential. I feel like this is about this money kind of material reality or something you've worked hard for. But like there's also this like beautiful, fresh, like spiritual energy here that's like really cool. Like with the star and with the Eight of Cups, it's like this like ever-flowing like fountain of youth waters. They're just like this, it's like this renewal energy. And there's something there where there's promise there too, because there's just this sense of feeling invigorated by just the mystery of life and the spark of, the unknown, the mysterious, the creative, the subconscious, This feels very Jungian. This is like, do you follow the standard path, or do you go out on your own and create your own path, right? Do you listen to the teachers, to the educators, to the parents, to the authorities in your life and what they told you should do? Or do you just listen to your own heart and you can't serve two masters in a way? It's like you kind of have to choose, maybe. Especially if they're calling you to different things. What you know about the situation, you got the Four of Cups and it kind of came out sideways. With the Four of Cups upright, it often points to a feeling of boredom, of listlessness, of lack of inspiration, lack of desire or clear goals. Feeling lack. With it sideways like this, it's giving me a different energy. It's feeling like what you know about the situation is that you're in the unknown. There's a beautiful little pivot point here with the Four of Cups. It's like there's just a like in between breaths moment where there's just a little bit of like, there's just some potential here that's kind of exciting. It's very subtle energy. But I think what you know about the situation is that there's a glimmer. There's just the slightest glimmer of something that's like a little bit exciting to you and a little bit mysterious here. And a little something that just makes you kind of just wonder like, oh, could that be? You know what I mean? Like that kind of, but you don't think about it too much, you know, because it's very subtle and you don't know if it's real. It's almost like to think about it would just be too much and you're afraid to mess it up. Like it's so delicate and it's so subtle and it's something very special, but you don't even know what it is. You can't even grasp it. It's like the earliest potential of like some quantum thing, like that you don't even, it's just a cloud of like it's so unformed, but it's like you sense there in the possibility just the slightest promise of something, or this like kind of just tiny opening. I don't know if that makes any sense. What you don't know about the situation, you got the Fool, and that also came out sideways. Hold on, let me just think about this for a second. I think what you don't know about the situation is that you may not be as much on solid ground as you think. And there may be something a little bit you may already be a little bit more in the unknown and possibly on the precipice of something extremely unknown, more than you realize. Like, I think you think the future is predictable, you think you've got it under control, but you're just wondering if this can multiply and develop and become something beautiful. But what you don't know is that you're feeling this like slight, little, subtle excitement because your footing isn't as sure as you think it is. And what actually would really, really scare you, if it was in your conscious mind probably, still exists, but it's in your subconscious mind. That's the part of you that knows it right now. And so that's what's giving you that little glimmer of possible excitement. It could also be that you secretly desire to be more in the unknown than you are. You think that you desire to have this future that's predictable and that follows this progression, but you may not, like secretly deep down, you may not care about those things at all. Secretly deep down, you may desire to feel free. It's like you think you want to own a house and invest in something like that and feel solid and secure and stable. But there's a part of you that you don't know about or that you're not in touch with, secretly deep down, that just wants to put on a backpack and travel the world, you know, and or just be in a place where you're not settled and you don't know what tomorrow looks like, and you feel really like almost like you're falling into the unknown, like almost like it's scary, but like you're okay because it makes you happy. Something to consider is the Queen of Cups. So something to consider is your intuition and what your heart wants. And again, at first, a card wasn't coming out at all. So really the spread was asking you at first to be in the space of no mind, to be in the space of Zen, where you aren't thinking about anything, you're not considering anything. There's a simplicity here that's being called for. And a minimalism. Paring things down. Eventually the Queen of Cups did come up though, ever so reluctantly. And so it's like, okay, if you really have to consider something, consider your feelings, like what really makes you happy, what do you feel in your heart? That's all you need to consider. It's that simple. What are your emotions telling you? But sit with that. Don't do anything. The Queen of Cups isn't getting up. She's not taking action. She's just understanding and knowing and feeling. Okay. Yeah, I really think here that like you're feeling like outwardly ambitious, and you're feeling like you want all of these things and these manifestations, but stop to consider just for a little bit if really simplicity is what you want in life. And if the feeling of just feeling the sensations of the wind in your on your face and the sun beating down on you, and these sort of beautiful physical things. This appreciation of life for what it is. Stop to consider if that's really what would make you happy. And that's really where your heart is. What if you're that? What if you're actually that, like, much of a, just more of a minimalist or something? What would that be like? Or what if you were more spiritual? What would that be like? Okay, so outcomes for each. We're gonna do, what is the outcome if you choose to stay in this situation? What is the outcome for option A? Okay, the Three of Wands. So that's new horizons, dreams, looking to the future, creative endeavors, possibilities, kind of open future. What about if you choose to leave this situation, or if you choose option B, which is the Eight of Cups? What if you choose option B? What is the outcome? A little bit more of a resistant energy here when I try to shuffle the cards. Option B, if you choose to go, what is the outcome? Judgment reversed. Interesting. I'm gonna pick one more card. Option B, if you choose to leave. And the High Priestess. Whew. This is some intense spiritual energy here on the right side of things. You got two major arcana cards in a row. This is like if you did option B, I think what this is saying is that it's like a pretty extreme form of surrender and of almost like sacrifice, or almost like an abnegation or something, or like something about this feels like very extreme. Like if you went to, like if you sold all of your worldly possessions and went, you know, to I don't know, to a temple and live there for the rest of your life. Or, I mean, this is like, it's a very, like, it feels like a very drastic change of some kind. And it feels kind of extreme. And it feels like a intense level of kind of spiritual surrender with the High Priestess. It's like truly taking this sort of like mystic path. And like surrendering judgment, with the Judgment card reversed, it's like really also just like surrendering judgment. Like you become very disciplined in your mind. It's like you follow this very strict kind of religious or philosophical path where you kind of This is like the ultimate like pacifist or something. It's like you don't get involved, you're not worldly, you don't take on any sort of beliefs or something. You like just live removed or something from things. This is really like with the Eight of Cups and then this, it's like this is really kind of like turning your back on the world, like you're not worldly and you're in kind of this mystic kind of spiritual place. I don't know, it doesn't seem so bad though. But it feels there's a solitary energy here. Feels like there's a lot of discipline involved too. A lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of like discipline. So I don't know what that is. Let me pick one more card for option A too, since just to even it out. What if they still choose to stay? Or what if they choose option A? Oh no. So you got more Wands energy. Oh my God. You got Six of Wands, which is success. And then the King of Wands came out too, but I don't know. I'm not gonna take that. Wow. This couldn't be more difficult in a way because this is really about, this is like worldly ambition, success, like strong kind of creative endeavors and a foundation of strength and like possibility and a vision, and this is being part of the world and doing something really kind of special in the world, and being successful in it. Like following the path is like you will be successful. And then this, on the other hand, leaving and going your own way, on your own path, is not being in the world. You know, it's stepping out of the world, kind of. And it's choosing not to sort of be involved with those things. And it's choosing kind of a sacrifice or a really like extreme form of like surrender or something. It's choosing a belief system. I mean, your own belief system that's not of the world, but it still feels like kind of, there's something about this that feels like strict in its own way. So I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna get one last just piece of advice. This feels like a much bigger, longer term question than just, oh, stop for a little bit and clean your house and like clear your mind. Because this feels like something huge, like like the way of life that you're gonna ascribe to for the rest of your life. So I think in a roundabout way that's saying that like you will hear the answer when you simplify things and when you kind of like let things go and stay really open to what you didn't think was like possible for you before. And also that like the answer can only come from you. Like you can't get it from the outside. It has to be your inner guidance. One last word of advice for pile 3. What does Spirit have to say to Pile 3? What's one last kind of piece of advice here? Oh my God. We got it like multiple one. We got the Four of Pentacles again, which was you in the beginning. And it's weird because like in this version, in this deck, the Four of Pentacles looks a little bit like older. And then in this card, he looks younger. This is a very kind of like, this feels like, yeah, like a very like Eastern Zen like message where it's kind of like you can't get away from yourself. Like at the end of the day, you're still going to be like in the same place. Like it's like a circle where you come back to the same place of the circle. And just keep learning new lessons or something. No, yeah, like, what would you do? How would you live? How would you live if this thing wasn't gonna bear fruit? And it was just always gonna stay this way and stay the same. And in 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, you were still at the place where you're at right now? Like, would that change anything? Like, what decision would you make then? Honestly, I'm really stumped. Pile 3, this is kind of blowing my mind. In a weird way, it's kind of saying you already are at the place you need to be. And you need to embrace where you are right now at the present moment. Everything is about that. You need to see the present moment differently and find peace with it. And then things will start to look different and you'll be more in touch with where you go from here. If you embrace where you are right now without resisting it, I think you'll find power there. I'm gonna do one more card. King of Swords. It's kind of like, this came out sideways, and it's kind of like, don't try to like dictate your life from, oh wait, this is still, okay. So the King of Swords came out sideways, and it's kind of like, don't try to dictate your life from the top down and like only do things because you think that they're gonna have like a beneficial outcome. Surrender that and like embrace what you have already, embrace where you're at. Yeah, I don't know. Pile 3, I am so stumped. I only hope that I said something that kind of resonated. I am so sorry. I'm like really stumped here. This is one of those readings I'm gonna like relook at later and be like, oh, that's what it was. And like, but right now I'm just like, I'm totally mystified. And it's getting a little late. I think I'm feeling a little tired right now. Really quick, I want you to ask your yes or no question. So maybe that will help give some clarity. So really quick, ask your yes or no question, and I'm gonna pull a card for it. Yes or no? Yes or no, pile 3. So you got the Page of Cups, which is a yes. And the key word is intuition. Love, comfort, kindness, intuition, a good idea, a sensitive, thoughtful, introverted, cooperative, quiet, dreamy, imaginative, psychic, emotional, or dependent youth. Someone interested in learning about emotional issues. So your answer is a yes. And the last thing I'll say, I guess, is that, so the fish in the cup symbolizes curiosity. And again, you got the Queen of Cups here as something to consider. So I think there's like a call to go within, to be very quiet, to simplify things, and to listen to that still small voice within. The quiet voice, the persistent voice, the thing that you keep coming back to again and again. And instead of overthinking it, instead of doing this like big thing of should I go this way or that way, it's like, I think this is a more, there's something more simple here that's being called for. Okay. And there's also something very emotional. This is just following the course that your emotions take you in your life and listening to that intuition and that still small voice, and the path will become known. I feel like this isn't about deciding because these two outcomes are so drastically different. And in their own way, they're both sort of like fantastic or like unreal, or like they feel like these sort of extreme imagined possibilities that there's like a grandiose feeling almost to this reading. And there's, I think the energy that's subtly here is asking for something more, something quieter, something more simple, something more patient, and something like a little bit more diligent, and something just about the present moment. Okay. I really liked this reading. It was strange and like kind of beautiful, mystifying reading, and I hope that it helped. And I would love to hear your comments. If you have any ideas for future readings, something you would like to hear about, tarot topics, please let me know. I'll leave it there for you though. Thank you, Pile 3. Goodbye.